Hey, this is Tim. As you can see, Tim is a pretty happy guy who is also a comic book fan. Now picture this. It's 2016. Tim is just buzzing to sit in that movie theater and watch sorry, my bad. WB Studios Suicide Squad. And what did he think of it? Tim was found in his apartment 2 days later. He had committed suicide. It's safe to say that we are all a little scarred by WB's Suicide Squad. But you've already seen every YouTuber on the planet tell you why it's a failure. Today, my friends, we discuss Gunn's Suicide Squad. James AK-47 is a great director and an even better writer. Way back when, he was able to take a bunch of nobodies, a bunch of outcasts, and show everyone that your family can come from anywhere. Both Guardians movies were comedic, thematic, and drowned in an 80s aesthetic which complemented the character of Peter Quill. By this point, you're all probably wondering, wait a minute, why is Daniel talking about Guardians of the Galaxy? The reason I do is because I believe that primarily this isn't even a Suicide Squad movie, but more of a James Gunn movie. Every shot, every line of dialogue screams Mr. M60's name, and I kinda love it. This movie has a gigantic cast with bombastic and in-your-face personalities that honestly could become grating or even worse, boring. I mean, as an audience member, why should I care about a bunch of two-dimensional psychos that are gonna die anyway? And that was my mindset coming into this movie. People always harp on about how the Russo brothers performed a tightrope act in balancing all the heroes and their screen time in Infinity War. Forget that! This is a tightrope act. Gunn is able to take each and every one of the characters in this movie and give them a cohesive and engaging arc. Bloodsport learns that everybody has at least a shred of good, and that you should always bring out that goodness to those closest to you. King Shark learns that friends help and care for each other, and that it's probably not a good idea to eat them. Harley Quinn learns in the most Harley way possible that she needs to try and make the most healthy choices possible. Polka Dot Man learns that he can truly be a superhero without any interference from his mum. Hell, even Rick Flag, Mr. Government himself, learns that he cannot continue to blindly serve the government like a pawn. Is it on the nose? Yeah. Is it silly? Yeah. And I adore that. I adore the simplistic genius. And you know what else I adore? The style. The style of this movie is phenomenal. Every scene oozes what I can only describe as insanely zany characters, fluorescent neon splashes, grotesque, obnoxious violence, and color. Watching this movie is honestly the most accurate representation of the wackiness, the creativity, and the vibrance of a comic book. Does the movie have flaws? Yes. The comedic sections weren't funny, some flaws in the story begin veering their heads if you think about it for too long, but you know what? The movie was fun. At its core, this is a movie that explores family and what it means to lose a family. While yes, Gunn tends to tread on old ground, this is his most refined rendition of those themes, and that is why it saddens me. It saddens me that the opening numbers for this movie weren't as high as expected, because this isn't a studio movie. This isn't a mindless cash grab. This is James Gunn's love letter to comics. And this is James Gunn's love letter to family.
It affects you a lot. You wake up a lot of morning and you're finding out there's a problem, there's rain, or there's this, or there's that. And we have to refocus ourselves and say, what's the opportunity within this obstacle?